Hey, what's going on, all my YouTube social media freaks? I just wanted to come on here and share this. This has been on my heart now for probably 3 or 4 months, and I just couldn't grasp on how to articulate it. But I wanted to talk about the pressures, especially for key players and business owners, and then those of you who have the pressures of life, and you look at the world, and the world's telling you this is what success looks like, and this is how you're supposed to achieve success. And if you're not at this level of leadership or this level of life, then for some reason you failed. That's not true at all. One of the main successes in life is peace and happiness, regardless of what you've obtained. If you've obtained those two things, then you're as successful as they come. But I want to talk about two people. Pressure. Pressure breaks pipes. Pressure also creates diamonds. And I want to talk about these two people because it's very important when we're talking about leadership and key players. And we're talking about people that just need to go with the flow. And I want to talk about pressure breaking pipes first. So what do I mean by that? Well, what does a pipe do? A pipe creates flow and allows flow inside the pipe from point A to point B to point C. The valve turns it off. When the valve turns on, that flow begins. Without that flow, a house would not be functional. Systems would not be functional. So for a system to be functional or anything to run, it needs to have pipes. And for those pipes to be maintained, there needs to be a certain amount of pressure. But too much pressure on a pipe will what? Bust. So a lot of times, again, going back to what I said, maybe you're looking at a situation and you're thinking that your success is based on what they have or what the world is telling you to have, and you're trying to achieve something that you're not supposed to achieve. You're not called to it. You're called to be a pipe. You're called to be part of the system. You're called to be part of the flow. And without you in your calling, the systems in the flow does not work. But the world is telling you you need to be more than what you're called to be, which you might be able to achieve that more than what you're called to be. But if there's too much pressure on a pipe, it then busts, and now the system has failed. Now we have a flood. Now we're in issues. Now we can turn that into your happiness, and we can turn that into your peace. Because when you're at peace, if you're supposed to be the person that operates in the flow and operates in the systems, and you're not the visionary or you're not the diamond, then your job is to make sure everything flows properly. But if you go outside of your flow and you create a pressure that doesn't belong to you and you bust, now your life is chaos. Now you've got floods, you've got rags, you've got to call a restoration company. You're sitting down there with doctors, your health, you're overwhelmed, you're stressed, you're overweight. All these things are siding on you because there's too much pressure on you. And when there's too much pressure, it busts pipes. Now, what I want to speak to this person is evaluate. First thing is prayer. And I've said this for many years. Peace is the indicator of where you're supposed to be. If you do not have peace where you're at right now, you need to be praying about that and figuring out how to find that peace, because that's one thing that God promises us is peace. He doesn't promise us all these great situations. He doesn't promise us no heartaches. He doesn't promise us no pressure. But what he promises is peace inside the pressure. So there is pressure when you're hauling pipes. Pipes have a constant flow of pressure. But then you have to understand something. Are you exceeding those pressures to where now it's chaos and now you're having stress? Stress creates more pressure that doesn't belong to you, and now there's an explosion. All right? So I want you to evaluate that. Now let's talk about the diamond. The diamond creates value wherever it's at. What do I mean by that? You take a piece of gold, right? Just a small piece of gold. That gold's probably not even worth $15. Let's talk about an earring. But if I take a 1 carat diamond and I put it on that gold, now it's created value for that piece of gold that's only $15. Now we're talking $2,000, right? So Pressure also creates diamonds. There's people in our lives, and there's some of you guys that are listening, and you're wondering why there's so much pressure on you, but you know you're called to an elevated leadership or an elevated key role position. You've got to understand that you are being pressurized to create a diamond so that wherever you go, now you are putting value in the areas that you are. So in other words, you are being cultivated to add value in whatever situation that you're in. Again, guys, don't mix up value or don't mix up pressure with peace, because there is peace inside of pressure. So if you have pressure without the peace, you are outside of your element, which means you might be a pipe and you're about to bust. But if you understand pressure and you have pressure, but there's peace in that pressure, don't think that you're outside of the will of God or outside of the will of your calling because you feel pressure. You were just being created to be that diamond so that the situations you're going through now, you can implement the knowledge somewhere else so that you create value in those situations. So today, my journey is this. Where do I need to be and where is the peace found so that I can give value wherever I go? Understand, regardless if you're the pipe, regardless if you're the diamond, you're still giving value. The value's just different. Don't get it twisted. Don't keep your eyes on someone else's blessings. Make sure your peace and happiness is found in you, because that's where the true success is. So if that pressure's on you today, ask yourself, do I have peace inside this pressure? And if I don't, then I need to reevaluate and see where my flow needs to be so that I can cultivate and work and flow in the proper direction so that the systems that I'm implementing are flowing properly. If you have pressure, but you have peace in the pressure, it's okay. Understand that you're being cultivated to probably be the diamond to add the value in the next place that you go. I hope this blesses somebody. Remember, pressure breaks pipes, but it also creates diamonds. The key is, where's the peace at? If you have peace in the pressure, you're being the diamond. If you don't have peace in the pressure, your pipe's about to blow. I love you guys. Share this if this was value.